Episode 6.
After the show, don't forget to visit tell.fish/gear to get our recommendations on gear that will take your angling adventures to the next level and help make you the next Telltale Fisherman.
Welcome to the Telltale Fisherman podcast, where avid anglers share the story of their best fishing day ever to inspire yours. Now it's time for another epic adventure. So here's your host, John Woodson.
Okay, welcome to the show. Today's guest is Lois Preston. Lois, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's just have you tell us a little bit about yourself to get started.
I grew up in the Orlando, Florida area, and I got into fishing from my dad. He was a fisherman all of his life, and when I was 2, he bought me my first rod, and I messed around with it, and I have pictures from it, and then from then on, he just kept me fishing, and I just grew to love it more and more.
Right, well, so where do you go to school now?
I go to the Masters Academy.
And what grade are you in?
I'm a freshman in 9th grade.
Freshman in 9th grade.
Yes, sir.
But you've been fishing since you were 2 years old, huh?
Yes, sir.
So talk a little bit about your experience growing up fishing. What kind of stuff you fished for? And I take it you fished with your dad most of the time?
Most of the time I did. When I was 2, he'd always take me to the local ponds, and we'd fish for brim with like bread or worms, and we'd throw out the bread and we'd watch them pop, and I just find that so interesting. And then when I was about 7, me and my dad always dreamed about getting a boat. And then we would look on Craigslist, and people would be like, come pick up a boat, want it gone, and like it'd be free. So one day my dad surprised me and went out and picked up a boat that someone just wanted to get rid of. And then from then on, me and my dad had a project for over 2 years, fixing up the boat, getting an engine for it, and fixing it. And then after that, we took it out on the Banana River in Cocoa Beach, and we caught 42 trout in the slot size.
Nice.
And then from then on, I just learned to love bass fishing because New Smyrna and all that was so far away from me that I wanted to fish every day. So I'd fish for bass in my local ponds and a bunch of other type of fishing.
Excellent. So what are some of your favorite, do you have a favorite memory from when you were little catching fish?
From when I was little, it'd probably be just building and making up the boat with my dad.
Right. And what kind of boat was it?
It was a 15-foot sailfish, center console.
Excellent. And do you remember what kind of motor you had on it?
We had a Mercury 150.
Okay. So you don't have the boat anymore?
No, we sold it to help pay for stuff.
So tell us a little bit about the kinds of fishing you do now. And
I mostly bass fish around my local ponds because I don't have much time. But every year, me and my family, we go down to New Smyrna and we just have a family week there. And then we would always fish there. And then I got really into saltwater fishing. And then one day we met this guy out by the charter, and this guy already paid for the charter, but said that he can't go. And we came in off the boat from not catching anything. He's like, hey, do you guys want to go on a free charter? So we said yes, and he went out, and on the 3rd cast, I caught my first ever redfish, and then I was hooked on saltwater fishing. And then when we got back, about 2 years later, I got into like freshwater since we never really lived near the saltwater.
Mm-hmm.
So then we would go down there, and then my brother got his car. We could drive all the time, so we would pack the kayak in and all that, and we'd go down to the beach and shark fish.
So you're going to tell us a little bit more about shark fishing in a minute, aren't you? Okay. Well, I know you also have some other cool experiences with fishing. In fact, when I hear the scouting report on you, everybody tells me that you're a sponsored fisherman. What does that mean exactly, to be in 9th grade and a sponsored fisherman?
When people think of sponsor, they think that they send you a bunch of stuff for free, but that's normally not what it means. Like you wear their product to things, and they give you 50, 60, 70% off on their product. Like for Mudhole, I get a bunch of free stuff because I wear his stuff all over the town, and he just helps me out with all my fishing rods and building them.
Right. So you're good friends with the owner of
Mr.
Mudhole, I take it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And you've worked there.
I worked there over the summer for 2-3 weeks.
Excellent. And you've become quite the rod builder, I take it.
Yes, sir. I built a bunch of rods.
Awesome. So I understand on this story that you're going to tell us here in just a minute that you built the rod that you were using. Is that correct? Talk to us a little bit about how you do that.
My friend, she wanted me to build her a rod because they have a 36 Everglades. And it's a big, big blue boat. And she said, I want you to make me this rod. So I said, okay. And she wanted it for down rigging and trolling. So I said, okay, that can't be too odd. I'll go talk to Mr. McNamara. So I went in and I called Mr. McNamara. He said, yeah, I'll give you anything you need. Because he already hooked me up with the rod building, set up the electric one that spins it. So I said, oh, that's pretty cool. So I went in and he already had everything laid out for the color and all that. And once I made it, it took me about a day to make because I was making it perfect. And I did a bunch of diamond wraps near the base in different colors. But after that, I don't really give away products I haven't tested or anything. So my brother's like, you want to go down to the beach and shark fish with it? So I was like, yeah. So we packed 2 or 3 trolling rods in plus the one that I made. And we put a big 9/0 Penn Senator on it. And we took 200-pound test braid. We spooled up on the Penn Senator. And then we took a bunch of 200-pound fluoro. And then we crimped it down. And then we put, I think it's like 400-pound steel leader on it to a 12-aught hook. And then it was really like a big metal steel hook.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, Lois will finish telling us about his epic shark fishing story from the beach. Stay tuned.
When the bait is thick, any old cast net can get you some bait, but many times the bait are scarce or they're laying low, and there is simply no way you can get at them without a good quality cast net. Unless you're netting in very shallow water, you need a net with a good amount of weight, which is a necessity for getting the net down on the bait quickly. A good quality net will also stand the test of time if it's taken care of properly. For a great value net for the money, check out tell.fish/gear in your web browser.
All right, let's get back to the action with Lois Preston. Lois, what happened next?
We went to the bait shop and we got a whole bonita. So I cut open little slits in the bonita and I put it on. And then we grabbed the kayak and we put it in the back of the kayak. And then once we put it in the back of the kayak, I kayaked it out about 200-300 yards. And we only had like 200-300 yards on the thing, so I only did it not too far. But when I was kayaking it out, I dropped it, and I forgot to drop the weight, and I'm kayaking back in, and my brother goes, Lewis, look behind you. And I look behind me, and there's a big old shark fin, because the weight didn't go out, but the thing did. And then the bonita's just dragging in the water. And there's a shark fin, so I drop it, and my brother clicks the bail over, and it starts zipping out.
So the two of you in the canoe together?
No.
It's just you and
He's at the thing.
He's back at the rod.
Yes.
Okay.
So while I start coming in, he sets it, and I said, it's my fish, I made the rod. And he goes, okay, I won't touch it. And he steps back like this. And I see the rod shoot over in the sand. And I'm yelling, okay, William, you can reel in the rod. So it starts, and then I zip in, and then I put on the fighting belt and the harness, and I strap the rod into me. And then we have a big stake that we put in the ground from the thing and a rope that goes onto you so I don't get pulled in with the rod. And then I start fighting it. And that was about 6 o'clock. And then,
well, tell me just a little bit about where you're at, and so what is the beach like here? Is this a place where that people can drive on the beach?
yeah,
or people
it's
down
right
on the
where
beach?
you enter the beach.
Right. So just tell people a little bit about this is in New Smyrna Beach,
Yeah.
right? So for those who haven't been to New Smyrna, tell them what it's like when you get there and what the beach is actually like.
There's a big bridge. It's called the North Bridge. And if you keep going straight, there's this entrance. You can pay $8 to get your car into the beach.
So you can drive down onto the
You can
beach
drive
and
onto the
park
beach.
your car.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we would park the car, and then we would put everything on the kayak, and we'd carry it down. Mm-hmm. But there's probably hundreds of people on the beach.
Okay, so there's still a lot of people
and
on the
there's people
beach while you're
swimming in
doing
the water.
this.
And then the lifeguard's yelling at me to get in when I'm on my kayak, blowing the whistle and going like this. And I'm like, what does that mean? And then William's yelling at me, going like this. And I turn around, about 6-7 yards behind me is the shark. And I just dropped it, and it zipped it from there. So then when we got back, William started cranking, and then I got back, and I pulled the kayak back up on shore. I put everything on, and I started cranking it, and I thought I lost it, and I got really mad. I dropped it, and I put it back in the rod holder. We took out one rod holder. We put the other rod in, and I went like this. I put my hands on my head and said, we just lost a massive shark. And then it tips over again, and we're like, we didn't lose this shark. So we start cranking and cranking and cranking after we get everything set back up. And then that was about 6 once that happened. And then about 7:30 is when it starts getting dark.
So wait. So you hook the fish at 6
daylight.
o'clock?
Yeah.
And you're still fighting it at 7:30?
Yeah. I think my brother was fighting it at this point.
So did you, do you think the fish, the shark grabbed it was a bonita you said?
Yeah.
You think he grabbed the bonita and then let it go? That he
No,
didn't
I
get
think
hooked?
he was just running towards the shore.
Okay, so he was still hooked that whole time when your rod went slack.
Yeah.
So even though you were reeling as fast as you can, trying to take up the slack, he still was coming in so fast that it made you think that he was off.
He was off.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
And then,
so hour and a half into this fight,
it's just getting dark and there's people surrounding us.
So you and your brother had to switch off some.
Yeah.
On the fish.
And then about 8 o'clock, this news team comes out with cameras and that, and because they were covering shark attacks on the beach because they just had like 4 or 5 that year, and they were coming out and they saw us out there. So then they brought the truck out there and they brought the cameras and they were videotaping us. And then I get the rod back and I start cranking and cranking and cranking. It's about 50 yards from shore and it takes a big, long 100-yard run. And I thought it was about to snap and I just start cranking. I hand it to William. He does 50 yards. I finish the 50 yards and I run out and I grab by the tail and I start pulling it up just to realize that the shark can turn its whole body near the tail.
Yeah, they're pretty crafty like that, aren't they?
So I have William hold it, makes another run. I run up to the thing and get a rope and I tie a noose in it. And I wrap it
so
around
you
the
tail roped him?
Yeah, I probably took 10 minutes to go find everything to do that because I wasn't getting bit. It's a big 350-pound bull shark, and we pull it up. Once we pull it up, my dad yells at me, "Lewis, what are you doing?" from the condo. And I was like, "Fishing." And he goes, "For what?" And there's like 40 people around us pulling up the shark.
Oh, so everybody just grabbed onto the rope?
Yeah.
All the people there are helping you pull it up onto the beach.
Yes, sir.
With the news crews watching and everything. Yeah. Wow, so
never aired on news, but you know.
Well, how far did they pull it up? I mean, did you get him totally out of the water all the way up?
Yeah, we got him totally out of the water because we had to remove the hook from the mouth.
Right. And so how long was this shark?
He was probably 6-7 feet long. He was really fat.
6-7 feet, big fat shark. Hopefully he didn't have any surfer's arms or legs in his stomach.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. So you get this massive shark up on the beach. It took you say a little over 2 hours to get him in?
Just a little bit over, yeah.
So how fatigued were you? How did you feel?
I felt tired. Like, I didn't realize what I had just done. Like, I was like, cool, I caught a shark. And it hit me at night when I was laying in bed just thinking about it. I was like, I just caught a 350-pound bull shark off the beach. Like I said in all those YouTube videos. And it just hit me and I was like, that is one of the coolest things I've ever done. Yeah,
no kidding. And it's amazing that you did it on such a populated beach where there's cars driving and people around.
Oh, they're all out there. They just...
Yeah.
They're there. They're swimming under you the whole time.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just don't know it.
Well, but were there still people in the water when you were fishing and they had to get out of your way? Or
Oh, when we hooked the shark, there was someone about 100 yards down that was in the water.
Okay. Now, did the lifeguard come over and holler at you for shark fishing? Or?
When we were done, the lifeguard already picked up and moved her stuff in. She wasn't there anymore.
Okay. And so you got the shark on the beach. I hope you got a couple pictures with it.
Yeah, we do have a few pictures.
Awesome. Well, I know everybody's going to want to see some pictures of that monster.
I'll send you guys some.
Yeah, well, that's going to be great. But so you got the shark up there, take a couple pictures, get the hook out, and then were people on the beach touching it and everything?
Yeah, they were like, can we touch it, can we touch it? And people were taking pictures of them holding the tail like they caught it and all that. It was really fun and all that.
Wow. And so after, couple minutes out of the water, you just drag it back in?
It wasn't out for more than 2-3 minutes. We pulled it back in safely.
Yeah. Well, and they're very hardy. They can last a good while out of the water, but that's great that you took good care of it. An animal like that is quite an amazing specimen. A lot of people are afraid of them, and some people would want to kill it, but it's a magnificent animal.
They are really good eating sharks, but...
Well, right. But I bet it was impressive to see an animal that magnificent up close, and you not only got to feel the power of it through your rod and the line, but you got to actually sit
on the back and hold up the mouth and take a picture of the teeth.
Oh, did you do that?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I got to see that picture.
We do have a picture of that. It's really blurry because it's at night.
Right.
I will send that to you.
Awesome. So you drag it back down the water, and did you have to wiggle it a little bit to get it going, or did it just take right back off?
We just pushed it in the water, and then it turned, and we ran out as fast as we could. But it didn't turn. We just thought it turned.
Right.
It just was going out.
Right. Well, it's extra, it was dark at that point. It was probably a little extra spooky letting the fish
Especially in the middle of the night, and you have to be up to this in the water.
Right.
You can't see anything.
Oh, so you were wading up to about your chest to get him back out there.
Yeah, he wasn't going. We had to give him a little push.
Right. Oh, I bet he was completely spent by that point.
He was mad. He was really mad.
So is that something for you, is that okay, I did it once, I don't care to fight a fish for 2 hours
We do it
again?
every year, and we catch a big one every year.
Okay.
Then. That was last year, and we go down every month with my brother, and we'll go catch, but not as big, though. They'll probably be like 5 feet, 4 feet, and then we'll get a big one every now and then.
So you're hooked on catching big ones, huh?
Yeah. Yes,
awesome. Sir. Yeah, well, see, for me, that would be fun to do once. I'm not sure I'd want to keep catching fish that big.
But the girls, they sure love it when you pull a big shark on
Well, then, I can certainly understand why you'd want to keep doing that. Excellent. So what's your next big catch? What do you think would top that? What kind of fish?
12-foot hammerhead off the beach.
12-foot hammerhead.
We've caught the 9-foot hammerheads and that, but we want to get the big, great hammerheads.
Well, I have seen that hammerhead, and I call it a coucher because it looked bigger than your living room couch.
Oh, it's 12, 13 feet long.
Yes. But that one was not on the beach. That one was about 15 miles offshore. We saw it swimming, but it was just a little bit south of where you beach fish. So maybe you'll see it one of those days.
Hopefully. And there's a lot of them out there. We see them all the time when we're out fishing. We actually got a call one time when we were out fishing with the girl I made the rod for, and there was a call over the intercom, and it goes, "A 8-foot hammerhead just ate my shark. Ate my tuna. I don't know why I said shark." And then 5 minutes later, we're driving around trolling, and there's an 8-foot hammerhead with the tuna in its mouth just going down the thing.
Yep, they are amazing creatures. So I just have one last question for you. Did you ever give up that rod after catching the fish?
I did.
Okay.
But I get free fishing whenever we go out with her.
Awesome. Well, sounds like it's about time for another trip, and I'd love to hear your next story when you catch that 12-foot hammerhead.
Thank you.
All right, Lois, it's been awesome having you on the show. Thanks.
Thank you.
Do you have an epic fishing story to tell? We want to hear it. Go to tell.fish/guest in your browser and sign up to become a fishing legend today.
This has been the Telltale Fisherman podcast. Thanks for sharing another great tale with us. Be sure to check out the show notes page for more info on today's show and the gear we talked about. Keep those lines tight, and we'll catch you next time right here on the Telltale Fisherman podcast.